It's my pleasure to welcome you all to Nano 6, Progress and Protection. I wanted to start, and I'll thank other people throughout the day, but start to especially thank the Department of Toxic Substances Control, not only for their leadership in this symposium, but their leadership in general in the area of nano environmental health and safety. They've really set a model not just for the state, but also nationally, and we're very happy to be partnering with them. So today we have Maziar Movassaghi here, who's the Acting Director of the California Department of Toxic Substances Control, who's going to begin. I'm not going to go into a lengthy introduction so that we can get immediately into the content, but I did want to say he has one really outstanding credential, which is that he's a graduate of UCLA. So welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning to all the folks in the room and the hundreds of folks we have joining us on the web from the different corners of this planet. So it's very much of a pleasure for me to be here. And I was going to say, the surest way of knowing that you're definitely getting old is coming back to your alma mater and coming back to a place and going, wait, wasn't this a garden? And now they have a whole new building, and there's a whole discussion about a field that when I was going to school here was probably a postulate in someone's brain. So that gets balanced when you think about the distance to your youth. There's this concept of being able to be more proactive as we move into the future. I just wanted to briefly take a time to set this discussion in the broader context of what are we trying to do with DTSC, because the goal of all of the boards and departments of the California Environmental Protection Agency is sustainability. And in the past, we have tended to try to achieve that goal by being reactive to our environment, to our economy, to our materials, and how we use these materials. We've tended to control and mitigate them. If the first phase of environmental protection was John Muir and the conservation movement, and the second stage, Rachel Carson and control or mitigation, with the Green Chemistry Initiative, we've moved into the third phase of environmental protection, and that's the design element. The focus is now on the design to make sure our products are benign by design, so we don't have to spend the hundreds of millions, close to $1 billion, just in the state of California, cleaning up industrial messes and having government be reactive to what happens in the private sector in our economy and really our knowledge-based economy. So what do we mean by this benign by design? We mean that we need to focus on how products are made at the design stage. So when we look at how consumers use it or how it gets disposed at its end of its life, what impacts it has to us and to the environment. That kind of an approach into looking at design needs a whole new set of tools, metrics, and really a different fundamental way of thinking about what questions government needs to ask as regulators to allow for innovation to happen, yet be sure that we're answering and trying to track the right indicators to make sure that we don't wake up and deal with some of the messes that we've tended to wake up with. And this topic of nano discussion becomes even more critical when we recognize that nano is everywhere. And it's expanding in more and more different types of products with different types of uses and potentially different end-of-life issues. But we really need tools, and today's discussion is a discussion about what are the questions we need to be asking, what are the partnerships we need to be forming, and we're really going to be setting the stage of eventually down the road also what kind of methodologies and indicators do we need to make sure that, again, we're allowing for innovation to happen, but we're trying to not wake up in a world where we're going to have to spend a lot of our resources to clean up what we could have seen coming down the road. And I'm a bean counter by training. The first thing that always pops into my head when I see is, for instance, spending more than $200 million a year in California on cleaning up underground storage tanks that have MTBE in them. That $200 million could have been used in schools, in nursing care facilities, in a lot of different places. There is a big opportunity cost when government is reactive rather than being proactive. So I'm delighted to be here. I'm really looking forward to learning more. And I just wanted to take a couple minutes to thank Dr. Goodwin and Dr. Nell from UCLA for being wonderful partners and working with us. So I would very much appreciate it. I also wanted to take a minute to thank the wonderful DTSC staff that have been involved with this event. Dr. Wong, Frank Parr, Bill Ryan, Amit Safar, and Charlotte Felipe. Thank you to these public servants that in these very tumultuous times they're keeping their focus and putting your tax dollars at work. So with that, I believe I'm turning it back to you. So thank you.